What up, Fight World? It's your boy. They want to be just like us. They can't. Run that game. Shout out to the channel members and the shooters. They in the building. Yo, what's good? Good stuff talking about boxing. Man, Keith Thurman almost set us light skins back. At, in that 7th round. He almost set us back. All the light skinned people almost took an L that round. But he held on. He did what true champions do. I'm so glad because us light skins can't take no more L's for the rest of the year. I know the year just began. Keith Thurman, he almost gave us what? Keith Thurman almost gave us that L. He taking no L's. The vampire. Listen. The judge that scored a draw was on that base rock. Pookie. Calling me. Scotty, they're gonna kill me. Scotty, I don't want to die, man. That judge who scored a draw was all that Pookie. And the white, how I made Lucci, them big rocks got him like Chris Rock when he played Pookie. Listen, I don't know what fight. Listen, the fight was fun enough and entertaining enough to, just to be entertained and had good action and competitive. It wasn't like a walk in the park or anything like that, but it was fairly easy to score unless you're off that base rock. I don't know if you're, especially if it's stepped on. That judge was tripping. Talking about it was a draw. I ain't even no fucking draw. Hey, we had a good night of boxing. Now we got the vampire stream. Now, people, the question everybody want to know is why they get this started. Tupac, rather Machiavelli, rather Egovelli. I'm wondering what's next for Keith. I mean, obviously it's too premature to, to appoint an opponent. But I'm pretty sure that was probably a humbling opponent. I mean, humbling performance. Because he was talking about Pacquiao, talking bad about Pacquiao. Saying like, oh, you got slept, boy. AB, about bullshit. You better not duck me, son. Yeah, AB, if I throw 5 punches around, like he was talking that talk. And he was in quite the fight himself against a guy who's definitely game, definitely a warrior, definitely cagey. But I mean, despite all that, Jose Cito Lopez has been stopped. Not just by the bigger Canelo. He got stopped by Maidana, stopped by Berto. Lost Jesse Vargas. So I think Keith Thurman needed that though. He needed a tough fight to come back to level it out. I'm sure when he was in there, he was like, damn, you on vacation for 2 years. And I'm not saying it was all fun. He said he was depressed and, I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs. You're still off from the sport to getting punched in the face. It takes some getting used to, I'm sure. Like I said, any job would be like that. Leave any job for 2 years and then go back to the workforce. You'd be like, what the hell? The Equalizer. I like that one. Shout out to you for that. I never heard that one, but I like it. Yeah, okay. They said I'm the Equalizer. Huh? Yeah, I walk in the room, I see how many people in the room. Yeah. Hold on, I just got to do something real quick. Yeah, that judge that had it a draw was tripping. I was about to hit her with that Alonzo and Training Day. Yeah, okay. You said the Keith Thurman, one-time Thurman versus Josecito was a draw. I didn't know you like to get wet though. Charm, Dust, PCP, Primo, Old Dog, Butt Naked. What you had before you scored. What you had before you wrote down your score. Yeah, I didn't know you like to get wet though. Bath salt, wet, Germ, Dust, PCP, Primo, Adelaide Bird. That's what you had. You had that Adelaide Bird scorecard. Didn't know you like to get wet. It's not like I put a gun to your head. Hey, that judge was tripping. I heard the Jaime. I ain't watched Jaime Munguia shit. I don't have the zone right now. I don't got the zone right now. I gotta re-up. I might get the zone. It just depends who Anthony Joshua gonna fight. Then I'll decide when I'm gonna get the zone. Who Anthony Joshua fighting. Yeah. Once I find out his opponent, I'll decide what I want. They begging me to come back in my email and shit. Like, what do we do wrong, man? Please. Shout out to the zone though. But y'all, the zone, y'all gotta get some stuff in order. Y'all gotta. Who's Joshua fighting? That's for starters. When Joshua, it sounds like he's gonna like bend the truth. He always starts like, the thing is, right? And then I know he's gonna say some lie or some Eddie Hearn script or some shit. When he always says that, he be like, no, you know what I mean? The thing is, right? Every time he says that, I'm like, oh shit, this is some Eddie Hearn's like Broadway script that he's reading off of. He better. Hey, TJ Wilkins is a savage. He said he better not fight Errol anytime soon. He not ready. You know what the crazy thing is? In my honest, humble opinion, Keith Thurman was the Errol Spence before Errol Spence. Meaning he was that dude making waves, making noise, looking like, the vicious puncher, looking like the guy that'll probably get you out of there if you're not acting right. Errol Spence, make sure you got that act right when you in the ring with him. But Keith Thurman was that dude. He was like knocking out Jesus Soto Caraz. He fought that Lara guy for his HBO debut. Maidana pulled out of a fight with him. Facts. I love Maidana, but that's a fact. His team and all that, they pulled out of a Thurman fight. See, a lot of y'all don't know that. I know that because this is what I do. Y'all don't, but I do. Yeah. I've been deep in this boxing thing for a minute. Y'all didn't know, but I did. Maidana was supposed to fight Keith Thurman. Listen, I had it somewhere too. HBO even had a commercial for it, and I had it saved, but I don't remember where I saved it. I don't know if I deleted it or what, but they even had a commercial for it. Say Maidana versus Thurman, and then I can't find it now. But yeah, that was a thing back in the day. But it was when Keith Thurman was like 19-0 with like 17, 18 knockouts. Maidana was his team or whoever. They seen that and they was like, shit, who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this? Page B at 5 in the AM, Papa Leo. He was like, no, we not fighting this random knockout artist that we never heard of. I followed Keith Thurman for a minute, y'all. I followed him for a minute. But he was kind of like the Errol Spence. He was the guy at welterweight calling out Floyd. Oh yeah, this year we burning money. And pulling up on Paulie Malignaggi. You better not duck me, son. Don't duck. Don't duck me, son. He was the one talking the talk. But I don't know, man. I think it was Hagler that came up with the quote. He said it's hard to get up and run 8 miles in silk pajamas. Listen, I know you don't smoke weed. I know this. But I'm going to get you high today because it's Friday. No, I'm just playing. I was thinking, my brain works like that. When I think of like little trigger keywords, it triggers something else. But anyway, I know a lot of people get mad when Floyd Mayweather is mentioned, but he's a real good example for a lot of this shit in boxing because he's at the pinnacle. People know his fights. Bottom line, Floyd Mayweather, he's his career is impressive when you see what else is out there. You see the attitudes, you see the behavior, you see how other fighters don't stay in shape, you see how other fighters move, you see how he beat Pacquiao, you know, a couple years ago, and Broner seemed kind of gun shy and couldn't beat Pacquiao, but he's younger, he's bigger. Maidana said Broner hits harder than Floyd, so Floyd I think people will appreciate him even more when he's fully done, not fighting no rush hour shit, and kind of 1 foot out, 1 foot in, but just looking back on his career. And one thing, like, I don't hate. I try to take away. I try to learn from everybody, especially people who've accomplished great things, made a lot of money. I'm not a material person, like, where I just care about money, 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 but I just want to see what made this person massively successful. And one thing that, Floyd the person, Floyd the show off, Floyd's personal decision, I don't know about all that. I'm just talking about the man in the square circle. But his boxing decisions, what he's done with his career, impressive. And one of the things that is very impressive is the 22 years in this sport, undefeated, and looking how he looked in fights. Because like Keith Thurman, literally, just do your research. Keith Thurman is younger than Floyd probably was, because I don't even know how he's probably early 28 to 31 maybe. But anyway, Keith Thurman took 2 years out, came back and had like kind of a rough time with Jesus Soto Caraz. I mean, excuse me, with Josecito Lopez, right? And it was a competitive fight. It was rough for him. Looked like, borderline stoppage. Floyd Mayweather has taken layoffs, long layoffs in his career, twice at least. He knocked out Ricky the Hitman Hatton, and then he disappeared for literally almost 2 years. It was probably about the same amount of time. It was like 22 months, I believe, to be exact. And he was gone out of the sport after the Hatton fight. After he knocked out Hatton, he retired, and he was gone for 22 months. He said he wasn't sparring, I don't know, but he was not fighting anyone competitively for 22 months under the bright lights. Came back and whooped Juan Manuel Marquez. You get what I'm saying? Who's in my opinion, he's a Hall of Famer, one of my favorite counter punchers, from throughout boxing history. I fuck with Marquez, and he dog walked Marquez, and that's a fighter I really like. Dropped him, won every single round off a 2-year layoff, and I'm not gonna go tit for tat, motherfuckers. Oh, it's because Floyd Mayweather outweighed Marquez. Believe that bullshit if you want. That's why Marquez never wanted no rematch. Styles make fights. Marquez's style is better with a guy like Pacquiao, not an athletic guy who has longer arms, who's bigger than him, who has respectable power, who's surgical and precise. Marquez, in my opinion, he would lose at any weight. Styles make fights. Floyd's a better counterpuncher. He processes information faster. He has more speed. He's more rhythmic. He also has a chin. They both have chins, but Floyd has a good chin. That was always going to be a tough fight for Marquez regardless. But to see Floyd come back off of basically, 2 months shy of a 2-year layoff and dog walk Marquez, whereas Pacquiao has had 4 chances to beat Marquez cleanly. And in 4 fights, he hasn't even really cleanly beat Pacquiao, no questions asked. Mayweather did it off of a layoff. And then, like I said, you look at Keith Thurman, he took 2 years off, injury, whatever. And, he gave himself a C. Josecito, the guy who been stopped and was bringing it to him in some of them mid to late rounds. It's interesting. I don't know what it is about these throwback fighters, but they to me they seem different than the new breed of fighters. Maybe it's the teachings and the teachers they have. Maybe it's the amount of money you can make really quick. Because Floyd Mayweather, he didn't make money. I'm not gonna say he didn't make money, but he wasn't making like the type of money that's a vet like early in his career. You get what I'm saying? Like Floyd Mayweather wasn't making like probably what Keith Thurman, Wilder, and Daniel Jacobs and Danny Garcia and shit is making, you know, Floyd made money when he started fighting Gotti, maybe. That was on pay-per-view. And then he really started making money after he fought De La Hoya because that's where the time was. Hey, yo, Petty. Someone said DAZN will never take my money, just do free trials. Yeah, somebody told me they on their 4th free trial. Listen, mark my words. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. DAZN is going to, there's no way. I promise you. I know how business works. I own my own, you know, in the boxing world. Like, this is a small business, whether you believe it or not. You guys notice I put videos out all throughout the day. I do live streams when the fuck I want. I don't have somebody, a manager, somebody telling me what the fuck to do. This is my job, right? And take it from me, I don't see DAZN's entire vision lasting with some of the certain things that they have in place untouched. For example, I could see that 30-day free trial going away, either going away and then just periodically maybe it comes, or maybe they reduce it to a 14-day trial or a week free trial. But I don't see how that's going to cut it, because there's so many people like dude in the comment section talking about, yeah, I just keep signing up under new accounts. So like that means they're not making no money. if you just sign up under different accounts and credit cards and then cancel or whatever the situation is, then there's no way they're making money off of the people who are doing that, you know? So I see that either going away and coming back periodically, changing to maybe a 2-week trial, a 1-week trial, something, or just going away totally. I would be surprised if the price point stays at $9.99 unless they start getting some real big ducats from maybe like Canelo Jacobs. I could see them raising the price. $12.99, $14.99, $15.99, $19.99. You know, Eddie Hearns and Oscar and all that, they keep saying pay-per-view is dead. All right. Pay-per-view's dead for y'all because Canelo's eating, you know, so he's making a lot of money. So y'all don't care about pay-per-view, the pay-per-view market, because no one else on Golden Boy, listen, mark my words, outside of Canelo, nobody is ready for pay-per-view right the fuck now. Name one fighter that's pay-per-view groomed. They have the proper resume. They have the charisma. They have the, you know, the fans are like dying to see them, that are pay-per-view ready right now. And please don't say my dude Ryan Garcia. He has a fan base, but again, he's still developing. So there's no paper. You know, the only pay-per-view fight was maybe like Gervonta Tank Davis, and we all know that they're not gonna make that anytime soon. They didn't even let the motherfuckers spar, so we know that. So of course, Oscar's talking about, you know, pay-per-view is dead. Mikey Garcia ain't with no Golden Boy. Come on, man. Mikey's a free agent. I said with Golden Boy. They got Canelo and they have nobody else that is remote. You know, Saddam Ali's last fight with Mauricio Herrera didn't look, you know, that wasn't his best work. I mean, he even admitted that. Mauricio Herrera doesn't look like the same guy that beat Danny Garcia. Yes, I said beat Danny Garcia because I thought he beat Danny Garcia. Thought he beat Jose Benavidez too, but he don't look like the same. And he, you know, he's like a Martin Murray, like guys that may have given guys tough fights and arguably won certain fights, but he didn't get credit for it. So, you know, he just went on and, you know, end up losing to other guys. Munguia is the next big thing with Golden Boy. We gotta see, because the way I seen highlights, the way I seen from him fighting today, first of all, you're fighting a guy that's not gonna get you pay-per-view stardom. You know, yes, he has an entertaining action style, you know, so maybe certain people gravitate to him, or certain communities or whatever, but he's gonna have to have put it this way, most people in boxing in this current age, aside from probably I can count on one hand, You need the proper dance partner. You need the proper dance partner. That's how, like, Wilder, if Wilder fought Dominic Brazil on pay-per-view, it would probably do pretty terrible. You know, he has to have the proper dance partner, you know, like Joshua, Tyson Fury, you know, maybe even the Luis Ortiz rematch. I don't know, but it can't just be anybody. You get what I'm saying? And that's just what it is in boxing. Jaime Munguia, he's gonna need a dance partner. Like, he's not gonna. I don't see him doing sellout show. They didn't do a sellout show with the Inoue fight. It looked pretty empty to me. Anyway, TJ Wilkins, $5 super chat. You right, DAZN got to change their game up. We'll see, but that's just my thoughts. What would do horrible? Oh, you're saying like a Dominic Brazil? Yeah, most guys, you know, I don't even know if we'll ever see that anymore. You know, the Pacquiaos, the Mayweather, Cotto, where they could just go time and time again, and no matter who they're fighting, you know, it does a million plus. It's just a different setup now. Nobody knew Canelo until he fought Floyd. That's what I'm saying. Like, the game is different now. There's different ways for people to to watch fights. We all know that. What do you think of the scorecards? Ego just tuned in. If you just tuned in, smash the like button. Scorecard. I didn't watch Jaime Munguia's fight because I was watching the other fight. The Thurman scorecards were trash. Again, I'm not knocking Jose Cito Lopez. He did his thing. I'll definitely watch his next fight. You know, he put up a valiant effort. Caught Thurman in the 7th. You know, tried to press on the gas in the late rounds. But it was a pretty easy fight to score. Like, I mean, how many rounds? I would have probably gave. I didn't actually score it. I just did it scored in my head. I would have gave Jose Cito 3 rounds, 4 rounds, maybe. It was pretty easy. It wasn't no 6 rounds apiece. So that draw was some bullshit. I don't know what the fuck they was watching, especially with the 10-8 round. Like, it'd be one thing. Like, first of all, Jose Cito Lopez, I wouldn't have gave him a 10-8 round, even though he had Thurman in trouble. Thurman was pretty responsible for it, and he got buckled, but he was just like, he was buying time. Jose Cito was missing too when he was trying to. He didn't miss everything. He connected some shit, but that's not a 10-8 round. 10-8 round is Bradley versus Tim Bradley versus Ruslan Provodnikov, round 1 and 2, or whatever round Bradley was doing cartwheels and shit, you know. But yeah, so there's only one fighter that scored a 10-8 round to me in that fight, and it was Thurman because he had the knockdown. You know, I give it to Thurman though. His speed is like, his hand speed looked good early, because when he caught Jose Cito Lopez on the chin, it was so quick. I thought Jose Cito slipped, and then they showed it from a different angle, not the initial angle they showed it from, and I seen it. He hit him on the button. He hit him on the chin, but it happened real. And I was watching. I wasn't like distracted or texting. Thurman hit him, hit him with the left hook on the chin, and then he went down. But it happened like boom, boom. So Thurman's punches was sounding crisp. It's just he started, you know, the relentless pressure of Jose Cito. He started breaking up a little bit around round 7, 8, 9 ish. Yeah, it wasn't a draw. See, I don't know, man. Like, sometimes you just want to give up on scoring boxing. It's like, I don't know what the fuck people be scoring. There's oftentimes fights that are good and fun and good for the soul, but they're easy enough to score, you know. And people, I really feel like people oftentimes score based on emotion, just like how they view boxing. Oh, you know, I see somebody of a certain ethnicity. Oh, this guy's gonna kick this guy's ass. That's what you want to happen. That's what you riding with. Not how boxing works. And I feel a lot of people score like that. You know, the fight was fun. It was good action, but I think it was pretty easy to see that Thurman was up, even despite the round 7 and shit like that. That's boxing is a 10-point must system. Score round by round. Thurman was winning rounds. He had rounds in the book. He had a 10-8 round. You know, so regardless of the 7th round, unless Jose Cito was able to ice him and get him out of there, then you have to that doesn't influence the rounds that Thurman had in the bank already. Get what I'm saying? So people confuse entertainment and fun and the fact that Jose Cito was trying and all this and that and what they want to happen. They did the same thing with Wilder Fury. Same bullshit. Wilder Fury, for you to score the draw is not out of the question. It's very easy to break down mathematically. Now, if you look at boxing, I'm not saying Wilder looked his summer best or he was getting outboxed in some of those middle rounds. However, with 2 10-8 rounds, then that requires Wilder to win 2 more rounds to break even because he scored the only 10-8 rounds in a 12-round fight, and he got 2 of them. So those really came to save the day, And if you gave Wilder the first 3 rounds, then that means Wilder won the fight. But the man fans, they flip a lid and say, oh, you're fucking ego, you're bullshit and bias and your channel's going down. All this dumb shit off of emotion because you wanted Tyson Fury to win, because you like his story. I like his story. But that's not how boxing is scored. Tyson Fury really didn't do shit in the first 3 rounds. Maybe even the first 4 rounds. Yeah, and I'm not saying do shit like he wasn't trying, or he was just more so setting up his game plan. Like fainting and this herky jerky shit. That's not you only get a certain amount of credit for that. He wasn't like bombing on Wilder and Wilder's spilling about. Nothing like that was happening. Wilder was the aggressor. Wilder was doing some good body work in the first 3-4 rounds, and he was landing the more power shots. Easy. So I told you guys from the jump, Wilder Fury to me was a draw. Tyson Fury, props to him. Midway through, he started to take off, started to take over. Wilder started looking uncharacteristically tired, and it made for a compelling fight. But all these motherfuckers walking around, oh, it's a master class. It's not no master class when you meet your maker in the 12th round, and that's the second time you've been knocked down late in the fight. When have you ever seen a Floyd Mayweather performance where you would say it's a master class and he gets destroyed in any of the rounds? Like, if Floyd has a master class, then he's just whooping your ass and he's going to either stop you or easily beat you, i.e. Gotti or Canelo fights for Floyd. But people, again, they associate emotion with how they should score it, because the fact that Wilder was missing, looked tired, he wasn't connecting with some of his shots, was getting winded, was looking wild, and was made to look sloppier by the frame and the outboxing of Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury doing all this despite gaining weight and then losing weight, despite being absent for 3 years and having 2 weak tune-ups. People start factoring in that none of that has nothing to do with this fight today. Tyson Fury's decisions was his decisions, period. So it was a good fight, fun fight, but too many people when they're scoring, I don't know, maybe I have to go see the Wizard, go to Wizard of Oz or something and get some emotions, because I just don't have the same emotions that some people have. Like, I love boxing. Sometimes before the fight, my palms start sweating and shit. I love boxing, but I can separate my emotion. I can separate. I don't know. It's just maybe who I am, and part of it is like you kind of get desensitized to it. Like Gerald Washington, that's my guy. He's from the same region as me. Every time I see him is love, and he just got knocked out today. So boxing has a way of almost desensitizing you to it. People take losses, people get stopped. This is a brutal hurt sport. Doesn't change my relationships with these people. I'm not going to be a turncoat. Shout out to Adam Kanowski. I'm not going to be mad at Adam Kanowski because he knocked out somebody that I'm friends with. This is a brutal gladiator sport. They both were trained and they both acted like gentlemen. Props to Kanowski. Gerald Washington, hold your head high, get back in the gym after you take some time off or decide what's next, keep it rocking. But a lot of you guys are too emotional. Oh, Jose Cito, he exposed It's like he exposed Keith Thurman, so everything Keith Thurman did before that, because he was badly hurt or backtracking or pedaling or whatever, it's just out the window. That's not how boxing works unless you get a guy out of there. That's if you want to the ultimate eraser, get somebody out of there. Then it really doesn't matter what the fuck they did in the earlier round. They could have outboxed you. They could have looked like Pernell Whitaker out there. Stop them. Then that's the only way to to really erase good work. Keith Thurman was looking sharp. It just the fight evolved, and Jose Cito Lopez was still hanging around, and he posed some issues for him. Probably ring rust. I mean, I'm not just making excuses. On top of that, Jose Cito's game. He's a veteran. But he did get knocked down. If Fury got KO'd, he would have lost. I don't even know what that means. Of course, if you get knocked out, you would lose. I mean, what kind of question is that? You said if he got knocked out, he would have lost. Like, yeah, everybody knows the rules of boxing. That's like, no, he gonna get back up when he's done sleeping and win. Like, what are you talking about? Of course, you lose if you get knocked out. What the fuck? Y'all be drunk. Yeah, I didn't know you like to get wet though. I'll be off that sherm. It's like a sherm high. Niggas think they learned to fly. Responding to a post. Oh, I don't know what y'all. I don't know you lost. But that was weird. You said if Fury got KO'd, he would have lost? Question mark. So I don't know how you don't know if you get knocked out, you lose. That's kind of weird, bro. Of course you lose. I will never understand how motherfuckers say Fury clearly won the fight. I told you. I know how people are saying it because people can't say. First of all, there is I've been watching and covering this sport for a minute now. Like watching it for sure, but even covering it, that I've been doing this for years, full time, right? There's a influx, especially for big fights. There's an influx of motherfuckers who don't watch boxing year round. They don't. They simply don't. And they only come out for the big fights. So you have to, off top, if it's a big fight, you have to understand that you're automatically off rip gonna have 8 to 10 times more critics because it brought in super casual fans. I go to the fight. Trust me, I see it. Like Pacquiao fight. I seen hella people. They don't know what the fuck they're talking. He's like, yeah, hit him, do it to him. They're not saying nothing. Like I hear what they're chanting and shit. And like this dude next to me, like I want to strangle him like Homer Simpson does Bart. Every time Broner, he was like, running, you're running. That's all he was saying. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. So off rip, like Roger Mayweather said, most motherfuckers don't know shit about boxing. We beat. He ain't beat no motherfucking body. Okay, then. So you already have to know that Canelo Golovkin, Pacquiao, Broner, Mayweather, McGregor. I covered these fights, all of them. Every fight I just named, I covered. Mayweather, McGregor. You have motherfuckers with posters. Floyd is saying Floyd Mayweather Jr. with a picture of Senior, talking about 49-1 and all types of shit. Skip Bayless type motherfuckers. Just come out the woodwork. Fuck the Mayweathers and just posters and war paint and shit. Like who you going to war with? So a lot motherfuckers be like taking this shit serious, And the sport needs all types of fans, so it is what it is. But I'm just telling you, that's the reality. A lot of people just come for big fights. They're not here year round. They don't talk about Daniel Jacobs versus Mad Selesky and shit like that. They're only here for Canelo Golovkin or Broner Pacquiao. So that is already a faction of people. If this is a pie graph, that's a certain percentile. And then even some people who are in the sport and know all the players, faces, dates, times, and all that, some of them motherfuckers still don't know shit about boxing. I'm at the fights. I see it. I hear it. I hear people like, here's a common thing. Here's a clue. I'm not saying if you do this that automatically this means you are, but I would say 8 times out of 10, this might be a red flag. When you keep saying, "Oh, how'd you have it scored?" every single time, "How'd you have it scored?" "Oh, what's your score? What's your score?" Like asking another person. See, to me, that's a lot of times that seems like beta male shit. You need validation or you need reassurance. You know, you need someone to reassure, and you're not willing to say your scorecard first until you hear if they had something similar. You know, me, I don't give a fuck what nobody's talking about. Canelo beat Gennady Golovkin in the rematch. I seen it. I watched it. Won't. Canelo won. I don't have to walk up to somebody. How'd you have it? How'd you have it? What's your scorecard? I don't give a fuck what nobody's talking about. Canelo won. I watched the fight. That's what I thought. Now you can tell me your opinion. I'm good with that. You can tell me your opinion and what you thought. But I'm saying I don't need to ask you and hide my opinion. Motherfucker, Canelo won. That's what I seen. I don't get, and you can tell me and if it sounds like some bullshit or we seen 2 different fights, then shit, you know, it is what it is. But that's, every single time I go to a fight, there's a lot of people like that. Like, how'd you have it? Oh, what's your scorecard? How'd you have it? You know, trying to hide their shit and like what they have, but then ask you for how you have it because they need validation. I'm a grown ass man. I don't need validation from no man. I don't even ask my parents for permission anymore. You know what I'm saying? I did when I was a kid. They would beat my ass, but you know, I do what the fuck I want. I watch what I want. You know, I let it register. I think I know enough about the sport to gauge what's happening. But there's a lot of people that can't stand on their own too. They can't be 10 toes down. I can. I watch a fight and I assess it my best. You know, can't you check yourself? I did all the right after the Fury fight. I don't know what y'all talking about, but anyway, there's a lot of people like that. Because they need validation. They want to hear what you like at the Charlo fight. I heard so many people asking me or other people around me, "Oh, how'd you have it? How'd you have it?" Because they don't want to just say Tony Harrison won or Jermell Charlo won. It's a close fight. They want to know how you had it first to see if it coincides with them. I don't worry about none of that. You know, I'm good. Hearns got knocked down a bit. What does that mean? Tommy Hearns or Eddie Hearns? So yeah, there's just a lot of emotion in this sport. Like people can't contain it type of emotion. That's the reality of it. Make sure you smash the like button. You know, it's the same thing. I remember this is why Daniel Jacobs showed love to my channel particularly. Because when he was about to fight Gennady Golovkin, this is when y'all was saying Gennady Golovkin was, Fort Knox and invincible and impenetrable, and his defense was impregnable, and his power was gonna steamroll every middleweight in the division. And he has 21 knockouts in a row because you guys don't give people a fair shake. Oh, but Dimitri Perot knocked out Jacob. Okay, Triple G ain't Dimitri Perot. They're not. It's not like the Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen. This ain't no fucking package deal. Luxury 13 block him. You know, whatever Dimitri Perot did, that's what he did. Dimitri Perot don't fight like Triple G. So you got to look at it by case basis. Now, sometimes there's times where like you can infer something based on someone's performance and then someone else's performance, but I use that sparingly, because different people have different camps and different people have different attributes and ability. Like even if 2 people have similar stylistic fight styles, do they have the same chin? Probably not. So one person has success with, like, let's say Jose Cito Lopez versus Thurman. Thurman still has power, so for instance, Amir Khan, if Amir Khan doesn't have Jose Cito Lopez's chin, if, you know, Thurman landed some of the shots that he landed on Jose Cito Lopez, would Khan withstand that? You know? So you can't just say easily like, oh, Khan will outbox the fuck out of Keith Thurman because of the Jose Cito Lopez, and you think Khan is better than Jose Cito Lopez. Styles make fights, and that's not how boxing works. Because even if Khan is better with speed and hand speed and, you know, longer, taller, whatever, pause, there's other factors into it, you know. Thurman looked very beatable. What happens if you take two months off? Or that's potentially what happens. So it was a good fight though. I don't care what nobody talking about. Al Heyman is destroying this first quarter. There is nobody that has better first quarter fights than Al Heyman right now. I know because I went to most of them. You know, we just kicked off. I mean, Premier Boxing Champs. We, as in boxing fans, Premier Boxing Champs kicked off the new year with Caleb Plant, Jose Uzcategui, which I was at. That was a dope fight, coming of age fight for Caleb Plant. You know, I got to see my dude Joey Spencer on there, right? Then the next week they had Broner Pacquiao. You know, Badu Jack Marcus Brown. I will be honest, I thought that would be more like in your face action, but it was more of like it was more drama than it was action because that nasty cut. You know, I want to wish my dude Badu Jack speedy recovery. That was a disgusting cut. But then, you know, Broner Pacquiao. And then now we have Jose Cito Lopez versus Thurman. And you know, obviously the Adam Konoski versus Gerald Washington. It was only 2 rounds, but they were an action-packed 2 rounds. You know, and then I thought Jose Cito Lopez Thurman was a fun fight, even though I thought Thurman should have probably won unanimous decision. So there's nobody that has better first quarter fights than Al Heyman. Nobody. You know, he still got he still got Leo Santa Cruz, whose opponent had a switch of opponent. But on that card, you have Omar Figueroa, John Molina. I'm looking forward to that more than Leo Santa Cruz's fight. I think that Omar Figueroa, John Molina, if they both come in focus, that could be a fight of the year candidate. The way they both fight. Then you have Sean Porter versus Ugas, first title defense with the WBC title for Porter. It's a very good fight. Ugas knocked out Ray Robinson. Some of you guys don't know, Ray Robinson beat Terence Crawford as an amateur. You know, and then Ugas knocked them out. I was at Ugas's fight. I think he was on the Danny Garcia Sean Porter undercard. I don't think he looked that great, but you know, he did what he had to do and got the victory. That's a good card. And then some of you guys don't know, but on the undercard, they have Andres Fonfara. He's at cruiserweight now versus Edwin Rodriguez, who fought Andre Ward, Thomas Top Dog Williams, Michael Seal, I think his name was. They're fighting at cruiserweight. So that, you know, based on, I know Fonfara personally, and the way Edwin Rodriguez fights, I don't know how his power is at cruiserweight. I haven't really seen much since he got knocked out from Thomas Top Dog Williams at the StubHub Center. I was at that fight, but the way they both fight, it should be an action fight for sure. And then on the heavyweight side of the Sean Porter, you guys, you have F.A. Ajagba stepping up against Amir Mansour. Amir Mansour got cracks. You know, he was hurting Dominic Brazil, hurt Steve Cunningham. I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's the best test that I've seen F.A. Ajagba in, because he has to deal with someone who's kind of short, compact, usually in shape, and has power. I like what I'm seeing from Ajagba. That motherfucker, you know, you had to throw a punch and people be getting out the ring and shit. But yeah, and I've seen Ajagba. I covered a couple of his fights. He looked the part, you know. Pause. After last night, do you feel Keith Thurman is still number 1 at 47? I haven't thought he was number 1 at 47 in a minute. I had, out of respect, I had Keith Thurman at number one when he had two belts, but then he stayed away so long, and he had to get rid of one of his belts. So it put him in the same boat as Pacquiao, Errol Spence. Pacquiao got a fake belt, but Errol Spence and Sean Porter, they all got one belt. So yeah, I haven't had Keith Thurman number one. I told you my top two welterweights, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, in no particular order. The only way I know is if they fight, and don't ask me. I don't know who would win that fight. It's a great fight. But that's why I think is number one and two. The between Sean Porter, Danny Garcia's, and Keith Thurman, with momentum shifts and stuff, whoever wins out of that round, Sean Porter, Ugas. If Sean Porter gets past Ugas, then I would say Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, and Danny Garcia. They've all fought each other, kind of, so that is the number three person, I would say. Whoever wins the rematch, if Keith Thurman rematches Sean Porter and Porter wins, then he's a three guy. If Keith Thurman beats Sean Porter again, then he's a three. If Keith Thurman beats Danny Garcia again, he's a three guy. If Danny beats Keith, and so forth and so on. That's how I have it. But or you could even say number two, because I think Crawford and Spence, you could say 1A and 1B. So you could say Danny, Keith, or Sean Porter number two. Oh shit, Pacquiao's in there too. But yeah, put Pacquiao in that number two spot. That oh my gosh, Crawford and Spence 1A and 1B. Garcia, Thurman, Porter, and Pacquiao, they need to fight. Like, I want to see Danny Garcia and Pacquiao. I want to see Pacquiao, Sean Porter, Pacquiao, Thurman, and round table them guys. Somebody said Brandon Rios. Hey, you trolling? He looked alright versus Canelo, brother, but styles make fights. Y'all just arguing to be arguing. Anyway, boxing's in a good spot, man. I feel good, feel motivated. I'm about to get some couple more little gadgets. We doing well over here on this side. So probably gonna get you'll just see me cleaning house and renovating in certain regards. Yeah, we need that round robin, man. Musical chairs to see who's who. I'm curious to see where Golovkin, where he goes promotion wise. Is Tom Loeffler still his guy? And then who's he fighting? Because you gotta look at it. You gotta look at it. Triple G, to me, people, this is not being talked about enough. There's a lot of pressure on Triple G. There's a lot of pressure. Canelo's doing what the fuck he's supposed to be doing. He got all this money and he's doing what's right for boxing by fighting Daniel Jacobs. Jacobs, we know he's been doing what he's supposed to be doing. Fought Peter Quillin. I think he was an underdog, knocked him out, when he was undefeated. Beat the Sergio Mora's, tricky guys. Shane Mosley didn't look good versus Mora. Then he graduated and fought an undefeated Golovkin. Jacobs beat Golovkin to me. Then he went on to fight, I think, 3 more undefeated fighters in a row. Luis Cuba Arias, Maj Selesky, and then his former stablemate where he shared a lot of rounds and ring time with, and he beat him for the IBF champion. And now he's fighting Canelo. That sets the bar real high. I love that. I love what Jacobs and Canelo are doing here because it sets the bar high. Andrade, I want to see him in a better fight. We know he's the goods. We know he's talented. Billy Joe Saunders, people try to get at me, because I said I want to see it. First of all, the WBO ordered it, so I can't help that they ordered it. And if boxing's funny like that. They suspended him or whatever the fuck happened with the nasal spray. He served his time. You know, what are we gonna do? Margarito was allowed to continue boxing after he had potentially loaded raps and shit like that. Boxing just lets people come back. So yeah, if he's clear and you know it's a better fight, I'd rather see Billy Joe Saunders like we were supposed to see with Andre than Andre Arturikov and Andre versus some African dude, you know, Walter Katendakwa, Michael Blackson, and all this shit. Try again, motherfucker. Do you know who you are dealing with? You know, it does smell like shit, doesn't it? Like, I don't want to see that. Andre's too good for, you know, middle of the Packers, Alan Tez Fox, and, you know, just different people like that. So, yeah, I would rather see Andre, Billy Joe Saunders, Andre Charlo, Andre, you know, just somebody. Arthur. I'm not trying to see Andre Michael Blackson. Sorry. No, the pink motherfucker. Do you know who you did? No, I do not have no receipt. No, I'm not. Can't get Johnny Blaze to this shit. Yeah, DAZN just gotta serve us some of that filet mignon. Golden Boy's doing it. Eddie Hearns, I guess. Eddie Hearns on behalf of his DAZN thing. See, Golden Boy in 2 fights served us filet mignon with Canelo Jacobs. Eddie Hearns has had more fights on the boxing side of the platform than Golden Boy, and in several fights he ain't served to me no filet mignon. Canelo versus Jacobs, that's that filet mignon. That's that filet. That's that filet mignon. 2 of the best middleweights, arguably the best middleweights. You know, I thought Jacobs beat Golovkin. So, you know, is definitely 2 of the best, possibly the best, you know, in terms of accomplishment. I'm not saying that no one could, Andrade or Charlo, or no one could beat them, but I'm talking about in terms of resume, accomplishment, and shit. This is the best. Where I want to see if Eddie Hearn, he needs to serve us some of that. Eddie Hearns, he's serving us fruit roll-ups and shit. Golden Boy in you know, they had like 3 fights. The Jaime Munguia Inui today, Canelo Fielding, you know, and they've already announced Canelo Jacobs. So, you know, within a handful of fights, 3 fights, they've already announced something that's filet mignon to me, if we're comparing it to food. Eddie Hearns has had way more fights on DAZN, but there's nothing that I can recall from Eddie Hearns that's fucking with Canelo Jacobs in the least. Name a fight that's even remotely as good. Eddie Hearns DAZN special that's even remotely as good as, like, anywhere in the same stratosphere as good and meaningful as Canelo Jacobs. Why are you guys still arguing with this? These motherfuckers keep talking about Fury had a masterclass. He landed like 12, 13 more punches throughout the fight. How is that a masterclass? Especially when you had to come from Jesus talk, you know? It was a good fight. Just let it be that. Masterclass, you landed more than 13. When Floyd Mayweather has a masterclass or Canelo or whatever, they either stop the person or they land a ridiculous, like, you know, 38, 42, 45, 51% of their punches or power punches or something. Tyson Fury didn't do all that. Stop it. You have a masterclass, you landed more than 13 punches more. And we know Fury's punches. I'm not saying maybe he hurt Wilder a little bit, maybe, but Wilder held on and all that. We know Wilder's punches had an effect on Fury because he got put down from them, and his eyes were rolling. So stop it. So in terms of power, we know Wilder's the stronger guy and landed the harder shit. Stop it. AJ gonna fight Dog Bandit. You know what the funny thing is? His name ain't even Dog Band. It's Bogdan. You know, but I kept saying it that way. I thought that's what his name was. And I got other people saying it the wrong way too. I think it's Bogdan. I thought it was Dog Band. Yeah, everybody's saying they're like, yeah, because a couple people have said that name and they saying it wrong. I got everybody saying it wrong. See, we set the most trends. uh, White and one on paper. I don't say whatever the fuck his name is. Y'all think Joshua fights Miller or White next? What's up, your audience? Oh shit, my hour's up. I gotta keep some of these streams down because I gotta pace myself because I keep going. But it's been an hour, so I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta pace myself because I'm trying to get better. And I love streaming. I love, doing the streams, but it be cutting into others, when I be doing them 2 3 hour streams and shit. I gotta make it worth it. Because if I can't get certain things done because I'm just streaming, then it don't make sense. So hopefully everyone understands. Everybody have a happy Sunday. I'll be back with some more heat. Props to all the winners. I'm Mungia, Keith Thurman, Vader. Knocked out Fader. We working though. I got some new gear coming tomorrow. I promise you it's about to go down. Wait, just remember I said that. When you start seeing little improvements, I want to see if y'all can pinpoint the come ups that we get on the channel. The improvements. I want to see if y'all can spot them when they happen. You'll see. It's coming. Death Row East, believe in it. Adios to Maya. Bay Area, up in this thing, bruh. We up in this thing, bruh. Real Brother 32, you know how I get down. That's why I got to minimize these things because I just, I wear a lot of hats. And I'm not just talking about these type of hats. I wear a lot of hats. I got to make sure all this stuff gets done. I promise you, it's about to go down. I'm about to, I will baptize this boxing game. Gang. I'll let the boy. We working. Ego Army.